Hello! Welcome to Comic Rooks. This is our second episode.
Whoop whoop!
My name's Mexi.
And I'm Sarah.
And we are just two derps who are trying to get through comics. We are kind of semi-pros at this.
Very semi.
Very, very semi. But we're trying our best. We like comics. We want to talk about them. And what is our topic for today?
Today we're going to talk about which Marvel characters would be best for the various Lantern Corps.
Yeah. Corps.
Yes.
Yes.
It's confusing because, it's spelled with, an S, but then it's just core, and then you have to, yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel ya. We should probably talk about, the types of Lantern Corps, the spectrum, if you will.
The entire color spectrum.
Yeah.
So, okay, for those of you who may not know, it's not just the Green Lanterns. There are a variety of lanterns. There are the Red Lanterns who, so the Green Lanterns are based around, willpower, and that's their kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Red Lanterns draw their power from rage. Orange Lanterns draw their power from, avarice and greed. They kind of have the best oath ever because it's basically just what's mine is mine is mine is mine is mine is mine is mine and not yours.
It's fantastic.
Yep. Yellow is the corps that Sinestro belongs to, and that's based on fear, which is why they're such rivals with the Green Lanterns because fear can undermine willpower.
Yep.
Blue is hope. Indigo is compassion. Violet is love, better known as the Star Sapphire Corps.
The most problematic of the corps.
Easily the most problematic of the corps.
Yeah.
And then there's also the White Lanterns and the Black Lanterns.
And black is basically the lantern that makes all the dead rise and kill everybody. It's pretty crazy. And white is the combination of all the colored lanterns. It's kind of like when you think of light. White is the combination of all forms of light, whereas black is the absence.
Yeah, and it's black is death and then white is life.
It makes sense.
Yeah. It's very symbolic, guys.
Mm-hmm. And I guess we should probably start talking about different Marvel characters that could work for different Lantern Corps.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to start?
You know Marvel a bit better than I do, so maybe you should start.
Okay. Well, when I'm thinking about the different Lantern Corps, I feel like Kamala could be good for the Indigo Corps.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Because she is a very compassionate person, and I feel like because she puts others before herself all the time, I believe she'd probably be good for compassion.
Mm-hmm. I can see that. Mm-hmm. I can see her being compassion or maybe even hope.
Yeah. No, and probably, I feel like Captain America could probably either be hope or willpower.
Yeah, I can see him easily, fitting into both.
Yeah, because Captain America does, to an extent, symbolize kind of the hope of just the
America.
Idea. Well, yes. He basically
the hope of America.
America.
Except, more sincere than just, Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged Bandit Keith style.
Yeah, who technically is an American.
He's Canadian.
Spoiler alert from, a billion years ago. No children now will understand that reference.
Which kind of makes me sad, but, it happens.
It happens.
It happens. I can see Daredevil being red.
He could be. He does have a lot of rage. I feel like Punisher would be.
Punisher, yeah. That was going to be my next thing. Punisher could be rage.
Punisher. Oh my god.
Arguably Hulk.
Yeah.
When he hulks out, he just turns into a Red Lantern.
Turns into a Red Lantern.
He's green, but he turns into a Red Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
He'd look like Christmas.
He would. Oh my gosh. Let's see. I feel like I'm not sure if I'm going to ever find anybody for Star Sapphire because that core. I take issue with some things in
There's
that
so
core.
many problems with that core.
Like, for instance, one of the things is like you inherit kind of like a hatred towards men in the core.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It's like how
It's like
is
you
that?
love so much that you just hate, and it's kind of a problematic like trope that was used for women for a long time.
Yeah.
And then they were like trying to sort of like work their way around like what they did with Carol Ferris's character by just being like, "Oh no, this is like a whole core, guys," and then it's still kind of problematic.
It is. And like I don't know. I don't like the fact that it's not like it's not cool what they do too because they can like force people into their core as well. They can stop people from doing things by just basically taking over a whole planet by crystallizing it.
As you do.
Because, that solves problems.
Yep. That's obvious.
Okay, sorry about that. I got cut off. I think I was saying earlier, I'm not sure where this cut off, but from Avengers 2, we could say that Hawkeye could symbolize hope, so we could put him in the Hope Corps.
Mm-hmm. And then I feel like you could make the argument that, like, at least, I don't know what she's like in the comics exactly, but with some of Scarlet Witch's powers, like, that were displayed in Age of Ultron, where, like, she could make people see, like, their worst fears, like, you could argue that she could go into the Yellow Corps.
Oh, totally. Like, she basically she gets to this point where she has the ability to mess with time and space and reality itself.
Timey-wimey.
Yes, wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff there. But not as much time travel as it is creating a whole... Like, she basically rearranged the universe so that mutants ruled the world during the House of M. And that's crazy pants.
Who runs the world? Mutants.
Yeah, so I can see why you'd think she'd probably be good for Fear. I feel like Daredevil would be good for Fear as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are a lot of people who could follow into, like, more than one, definitely.
Yeah, this is DC, but did you know that Batman at one point got the yellow ring?
Did he really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty great, actually. It makes so much sense.
It makes so much sense.
It really does.
Yeah.
He instills fear into the hearts of Gotham's underworld.
Basically. Sorry for the pause. We actually have mugs this time.
We feel so official, guys.
It's quite nice. So I was just sipping my very nice coffee.
Yep, out of your Marvel mug.
Yes.
Prepared for the day.
Yes, very prepared. And let's see, what other people? I would say that Squirrel Girl could represent...
Squirrel Girl.
I feel like she could represent Hope because she is undefeatable.
You're a legion of squirrels, man.
Legion of squirrels.
They can tear the world down, everybody.
Mm-hmm. If she can defeat everybody else has a chance, Just saying. Squirrel power is probably one of the best powers in the Marvel Universe.
Go figure.
I know, right?
Who knew the unharnessed power of squirrels this entire time?
I feel like Iron Man could be greed.
Could be greed?
Yeah.
Like Orange Lantern?
Yeah.
I could kind of see that. I don't know enough about his character, like, outside of the movies to be able to say.
I mean, he becomes more compassionate to an extent. But he's still, like, a drunk playboy guy who doesn't take the time to, like, talk to She-Hulk when she comes over during doing lawyer stuff.
She-Hulk.
He just sends her to, like, his lawyers instead of himself.
Although, like, wait, was this from, like, the first few issues of She-Hulk? Because, like, I thought there was just, like, some confusion where she's just like, I need to see Tony Stark about, like, this specific lawyer issue. And then the robot was just like, lawyer issue? Go to the lawyers! And, like, wouldn't let her go anywhere else. And she was just like, okay. And so finally, like, later, she, like, basically beat them all up and was just like, I'm going to talk to Tony now. And then she was just like, hi, Tony. And I was like, oh, hey, you're here?
That might be it. I don't know. I did not like that. Because it's like, bro.
Yeah, like, it seems like they're just like, wait, this makes Tony look bad. Let's circumvent this.
Yeah. No, speaking of She-Hulk, she could be cool for something.
Yeah, but she could be willpower, maybe? Because, like, she can control herself when she is Hulk.
That's true. Yeah, no, she'd totally be good for green. Yeah.
And it'd match her skin, so it'd be, like, double awesome.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I was just thinking for Fear, like, it could be, the Purple Man.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Kilgrave. No. Which I can't believe they actually made his last name literally Kilgrave.
Kilgrave.
That is his name.
Something Purple Man Kilgrave.
Yep, they're just like, let's just not even be subtle here. Let's name him literally Death.
Basically. I mean, at least they didn't, like, have the last name Purple.
That's very true. They could have gone down that route.
Could have been worse.
And they didn't. I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that a lot. Now I'm, like, running through the list of, like, the Marvel characters I know, which is admittedly fewer than...
I feel like Doctor Doom could be Fear as well.
Doom.
Because, well, yeah, basically Fear, because, and his character is interesting because in a twisted way he does want to just save the world, but he wants to save it by ruling it. It's just a very strange thing. It's like, nobody can rule the world better than me, so let me rule it, and everything will be awesome.
Yeah, like, I can sort of understand the thought process, but, like, it takes a lot to be like, oh, I would be a great world ruler, to, I am literally going to take over the world.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of if Dr. Horrible was not as likable.
Oh, Dr. Doom.
Yeah. Dr. Doom.
Dr. Doom.
Now I'm thinking about Beauty and the Beast, but no.
No.
This isn't the point.
Nope, we got
no tangent.
No tangent. Oh gosh, I just had... Would you say that Reed Richards could go in orange? I know you hate him.
Yes. No, but he'd probably go into compassion, odds are, because he does care about the world. He just doesn't care about his family.
He's a big picture guy.
He is, which is logical to a great extent, but at the same time, that doesn't mean you get to be a douche about it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see, what other characters?
Good question. I feel like, Captain Marvel could be a good willpower.
Ooh, yes. I was just thinking about her, and I was just like, which one would she be? Willpower would be good.
Because she basically has a lot of just enormous powers. Like, she has a ridiculous amount of abilities, but she's able to control it so well.
So yeah, that sounds like a good willpower one.
Yeah. I don't know.
Magneto Fear?
Magneto Fear would be good. Because, to an extent, he wants humans to fear him so that the Holocaust doesn't happen to him again. Which is understandable because going through a Holocaust can mess someone up.
Yeah, I can understand being angry about that.
Yeah, but it's just like, there's better ways. Like, I get why he thinks that's a good idea, but it's like...
But it's not.
you should think a little bit more.
Let's put on your thinking caps, Magneto.
Yeah, take off the Magneto hat.
Put on
Your thinking cap. I know you're wearing tinfoil under there. You can take that off too. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Now that reminds me of the freaking new hat that the Green Arrow, what's his face has.
Diggle has. It's a Magneto hat.
It's a Magneto
They're
hat.
that's not even like, oh, it sort of resembles it. No. It is a Magneto hat.
I don't even understand. He doesn't even have hair to protect. Come on.
And like, he's been running around the city with like the Arrow for 3 years. Like, honestly, if no one's noticed by now, I don't think they're going to.
And what is that hat going to even do for him? For Pete's sakes, it's not like people are going to be like, I don't see the bald head! It's not him, guys!
His face is still fairly visible.
It is.
Like, it's like, it only would come in handy, like, when he was on a motorcycle.
And not even...
for head safety.
Not even that, because it's like a piece of leather.
True.
That's not gonna help
leather?
you.
Damn.
I mean, it looks like leather, right?
Let me, like, pull this up.
I'm pretty sure it looks like, you know, in rugby, those hats that nobody wears because they look stupid when they wear it, even though they probably should be wearing it because, you know, protection. This
looks really photoshopped now that I look at it up close.
That can't be it. It's like if RoboCop's head,
yep,
and Magneto's hat had a baby.
Plot twist, Diggle is RoboCop.
Diggle is RoboCop. I wish.
Like, oh my gosh, yes, look.
I told you! It looks like RoboCop and Magneto's head had a baby. Oh my gosh.
What are you guys doing?
I don't understand.
Arrow, you guys need to get it together.
Yeah, cool your tits. Just,
you know, take some time to think about your life choices before you make them.
Come on.
They're not good at that, but
yeah.
You know.
And just do some retconning and make Diggle's last name Stewart.
Oh jeez.
That we
no.
can have Green Lantern John Diggle Stewart.
I don't know how I'd feel about that, if I'm being honest, because it's like, on one hand, that would give him something to do. On the other hand, like, you can come up with an alternate, like, black character.
I know, but his name is John, and people already know him.
True. Like, everyone wants him to be Green Lantern.
Secret John.
Oh, this is an interesting idea. Like him being like this guy, the Guardian.
The Guardian.
Yeah,
I forgot that was a character.
Me too. That'd be interesting.
It would be. I don't know. I feel bad for some of the side characters.
I feel bad for I feel bad for, like, all but 2 of the characters on that show.
Yeah.
Because they just get, like, so shoved aside, and it's just like, oh, there you are.
I know, and Diggle could do so much, but usually he's just there to, like, calm...
He's, like, a very, like... He's just, like, kind of decoration.
He's like He's like the part-time psychiatrist of the show.
He's the part-time psychiatrist and, like, statue in the cave because he's there all the time, but, like, he's just there.
And it's kind of like, bro, he can fight crime too.
He's so great.
Why are you not using him? I mean, honestly, he would probably have been a better sidekick than Roy.
Although I do love Roy.
I love Roy too. I'm only saying that he has way more, like, actual experience.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, I don't understand how they did the pacing for that show. Their pacing decisions were really strange, because at first they were just like, Walls, no Roy, and they were just like, wait, no, just kidding, Roy! And, like, Diggle was still there, and they're just like, oh, well, I mean, I guess he's here too. David, just, like, stand in the background. Yeah, you look really pretty there. Just keep going. And it's just, like, really confusing.
No, I'm still waiting for the basically we thought about a show where
our spinoff.
Black Canary, Nissa, and Thea go on a road trip after Black Canary's band hits it off, and it's basically superhero female supernatural
with music.
With music.
Thea would be the manager.
Yeah.
Nissa would be the bouncer.
Mm-hmm.
It would be beautiful, guys.
It would be. It's like if Birds of Prey actually was good as a TV show.
And had rock music.
Yes. It's like combined Supernatural and Glee, and then throw in superheroes, and you got it.
Those are such weird combinations.
It is.
But I would still watch this. I would still watch it, honestly.
Yes. Oh my gosh. If only.
And I think Katie Cassidy does better when she's allowed to have fun with the things that she's doing.
I know.
So, like, give her something fun to do, and I feel like it'd be pretty great.
Like, I've seen her in other things, and she's good, and, like, I like her character half the time on Arrow.
They don't know what to do with her character, and it makes me sad.
Yeah. I mean, she was kind of pushed to the side a lot after What's-Her-Face got popular.
Felicity,
which I like Felicity a lot. It's just sad that Black Canary's character kind of suffers because another character got more popular.
Yeah, it's just like, guys, you can write, like, more than one great female character at a time.
You know...
They don't know how to do that.
You'd think people would understand that.
Yeah, because, like, in season 1, like, they did Moira's plotline really well. Because, like, she was, like, you know, all menacing and at the same time sympathetic and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then, like, Felicity didn't get much to do, but, like, she had, like, the snappy dialogue, and that was fun.
It was.
But, like, I'd say, like, the main, like, character they focused on was Moira. Thea was just kind of there for a while, and so was Laurel. They're just, like, hanging out in the back.
There was a lot of, like, Thea's character in previous seasons where I was like, I don't really like you at all.
Yeah, it was weird. And then, like, in season 2... like, they kind of, like, tossed everyone else aside, and they were just like, oh, guys, Sarah's here. Sarah's actually here, guys. And every time Sarah was around, like, nothing else mattered.
Yeah. I mean, I liked Sarah's character, but at the same time, it's like she's just prototype Black Canary, which isn't bad. It's just, I liked the characters that they focused on. The side characters were nice, but it would have been nicer if they focused a bit on characters that were actually more important within the comic book realm.
And then, like, we're actually going to stay around, whereas I personally think that Sarah's death was kind of inevitable.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, and I'm not quite sure how I feel about her being White Canary.
I think that's a terrible decision, to be honest.
The White Canary was
an Asian character. And she had such a cool backstory.
She did.
Like, she was raised by a guy who was just like, I'm going to have all the kids and name them after, like, the various zodiac, Chinese zodiac symbols, and they're going to be awesome assassins, and that's that. And he just wanted to have, like, sons. So he, like, would kill all his daughters, but then, like, there was, like, some, like, omen of, like, lightning when she was born, and he was just like, okay, I'll keep you. But, you know, you stand over there, and I'll train you, but you're not like your brothers. And then so when the Birds of Prey took down her brothers, like, she was just like, you've dishonored us, screw you guys, killed all of them. And then decided to, like, hassle the Birds of Prey. Which I think is, like, a pretty cool storyline, to be honest.
It is. Like, I would have watched that TV show, honestly.
Yeah, and then, like, they could have made it so, like, if she was, like, in the show, she was, like, created from, like, a similar event where, like, Black Canary sort of, like, took them all down, and she decided to become White Canary. That could become, like, an interesting thing for Laurel, who would be, like, she'd be so upset because not only is she, like, sort of making a mockery of, like, her public superhero image, it would also be her sisters and who she's trying to honor. So it would be, like, an interesting character development kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then they were just like, well, nah.
Now, it would be such an intriguing parallel, too, because it would both basically be about the honors of their families and kind of how that clashes with one another.
Yep.
Somebody could...
Wasted potential, man. So much wasted potential.
So many good plot lines, but I guess it's kind of like how you watch a game show and you understand the question, but if you were on that show, you may not understand it because of pressure and things like that. So I get why they don't always necessarily come up with some of these cool ideas, but you know.
Yeah, I'm, like, starting to wonder if, like, some of the DC shows, like, if Arrow would have been better had they been, like, allowed to do, like, a Daredevil type of thing where they had to, like, neatly lay out what they're going to do from the very beginning and just, like, shoot it through.
Yeah, no, honestly, I think more shows of this nature, too, would do better if they stuck to more of a kind of English style of creating content like this. Basically, less episodes, less filler, more structure. I think it would have been better that way, but I do like having the amount of episodes that we get. It's just, I don't know, sometimes it's good to work with different aspects and try different things to see if new things work better.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just starting to think that, like, for superhero things, it just would work better to do it kind of the Netflix way. Just because it's sort of like with a book, you know, where it's like there's usually, like, a beginning, a middle, of ends. Like, there's always, like, an end game in sight, I feel like. And I think a show, like, based off a comic book would work better that way.
It would.
Just because you can think things through. Like, there are some things in Arrow where, like, even the writers have admitted, like, yeah, we dropped the ball on that one. We had a lot of big plans, but we just couldn't do it. Mm-hmm. Like, I know in season 2, when they first brought Roy onto the team, like, that episode was huge, where it's, like, Tremors, and it's just like, okay, yay, he joins the team, finally. And then, like, they forgot he existed for, like, the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And, like, even the writers were just like, yeah, that was our bad, guys.
I mean, sometimes it has to do with, like, scheduling and a lot of other things. Like, for instance, you know, I think his name was Wildcat.
Yes, Wildcat
was supposed to come on to the season, but then
he got cast. And, like, he got a role as a series regular in another show.
Yeah, so he wasn't able to become a series regular for the Arrow, so they had to kind of wean him off.
Yeah, like, similar thing with Sin, where it's like they kind of stopped. She just kind of vanished for a while because she got more work. Mm-hmm. And they didn't give her a contract, or they tried and that just didn't work, or whatever. But again, that's why I think, you know.
Yeah. Wait, is that the lady who does Katana?
No. Sin is the girl who Sarah was bros with.
Oh.
She's now in, like...
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, she's now in, like, the version of, like, the MTV version of Scream, I think?
I think I know who you're talking about.
Bex Taylor Klaus, I think is her name. Yeah, like, that happened with her, too. And, like, they're just like, oh, yeah, she's doing other things. Whoops.
Yeah, no, like, the girl who's doing Katana, or did Katana, there were a lot of rumors of her being on the show, but soon it was known that she had a lot of, I think, movie deal stuff that she was doing. So she couldn't stay on the show, which meant they just randomly had Katana, but they weren't going to make her into Katana.
They both did and didn't at the same time.
It was weird, because, like, I don't know, her husband got into the whole spiel, too, which is, like, I think they were going to make him a big player, but then she ended up having less work, so she could do more episodes, and that screwed them up.
Yeah, that was just, like, such a weird thing, especially since, like, her husband, like, did not figure largely into the comics at all, from what I understand. Like, her origin story was that her sword is magic because her, like, husband's soul is in it.
Basically.
So, like, she, like, went Kill Bill on people, basically, after her husband and I think their daughter?
Yeah.
Died.
Yeah. Yeah, no, those were things that happened. Yeah, but like, I don't know. I listen to a lot of writers' panels, that the Nerdist does.
Yes.
And I understand why issues happen during shows because, for one, scheduling is horribly hard, especially if you have a big cast that you're trying to schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Second, did I say first? Earlier? Never mind. Another thing is that basically when you're writing scripts and stuff, you may have to do things short notice at points depending on what your budget is and what you know is happening around you. And that can be difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then now, like, Colton Haynes is just like, I'm going to be an actual actor now, guys, and is just, like, doing movies. Mm-hmm. And so he's just like, lols, bye.
Yep. So, it is...
so they lost their Roy.
Yep. It's a struggle bus.
Yeah, like, I'm not unsympathetic, but there are some times where I'm just like, you could have made so many better decisions.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I understand that. Yeah, it's just at the same time, it's like, when you play, like, a game and, like, I remember in Spanish class, we used to play a game where, like, we had to write out, like, all the words we can think of and, like, the alphabetical word, like, letter that was chosen at random. Mm-hmm. And I could do it way better when I was watching it than when I was actually doing it.
Yeah, that makes sense. A teacher of mine told me that, like, stress actually can, like, block your, like, mental pathways.
Yeah.
So, like, I get it. It's just that, like, I watched Daredevil, and, like,
it was
honestly...
amazing.
Yeah, and, like, honestly, like, throughout the entire thing, all I could think of was how, like, this is what Arrow probably wanted to be, but it couldn't have been.
Yeah. Well, it's, like, when you're... Even if you have that sort of budget and you're allowed that, you're still on, like, it's cable, right? CW?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still on cable, so you can't do a lot of the stuff that you can do on, like, Netflix.
Yeah, and it's, like, some of it was also just, like, I feel like the writing in some cases was just better.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, in Arrow Season 1, they, like, were really heavy-handed with, like, some of the political stuff, because that was, like, during the Occupy movement. Mm-hmm. And, like, the thing is, I'm not opposed to, like, having those messages in there, especially since, like, Green Arrow is based on Robin Hood. It makes sense to have, like, those kinds of messages in there, but it was way heavy-handed and a bit too much.
It was, whereas, and like, now it's, like, not even a thing in it now. Yeah. There's no politics.
No, and then, like, Daredevil kind of played with it, but not making it, like, slap you in the face, this is what we're doing. Yeah. It was, like, talking about how power can hurt. Like, it showed, it didn't tell. Yeah. And I think that's the big difference.
I agree.
And then they gave Karen a really good plot line.
Oh my gosh, they did.
And then they were trying to do that with Laurel, and then it just never happened.
Yeah, no.
It made me sad.
Oh my gosh, Daredevil is a fantastic example of what you should be doing when you make a television show based off of a hero. Because the side characters, both of them, had fantastic plots. The two kind of main characters of it, Daredevil and Kingpin, both had very interesting stories that brought up kind of like their background too, which was interesting because they both did kind of they were both raised in kind of poor areas, but they both kind of went into like different things because of their experiences.
Mm-hmm. So like it kind of like, you know how they say that sometimes like the mental profiles of like law enforcement officers and then criminals can be really similar. Mm-hmm. That kind of like shows how like they grew up under similar circumstances. Like I think they both grew up in Hell's Kitchen just at different times, and then like their parents were very different people.
Yeah.
So like Matt got like a lot of the good things from his father, whereas Kingpin's father was a dickwad.
He was.
So, you know, that happened.
Yeah. And it seemed like he was a decent kid, and he was a sympathetic character, too.
Yeah, so, like, it's like, if only, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's what made it much better. And then I also respected the fact that I think this kind of played into, like, how good it was. They didn't have anyone around for more than they needed them to be. Like, for example, Claire, for example. She's a great character, but they also, like, were just like, okay, we only know what to do with her for, like, this many episodes. She's only going to appear in this many episodes. Yeah. It's not like they had her show up in, like, all the episodes and then had nothing to do with her. Like, they only brought her in when, like, she was relevant. Same with Ben.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally agree. It's just, like,
Which I think Arrow could have, like, stood to do, where just, like, they could have had, like, characters just kind of be there for a few episodes and then not.
Yeah.
Rather than toying with them for the entire season when they had nothing to do.
I agree with that, because Arrow has a lot of potential.
It is. It does. It breaks my heart every time.
They just need to work on how they go about it. And that may be just a writer's room issue. Perhaps execs are getting into the matter. There's a lot of different things that could be going wrong. I know CW doesn't tend to always give the best budgets either, depending on the show.
Yeah, and then I think they started off too ambitious too, because like they were just like, let's incorporate all of the Green Arrow characters immediately, when they really didn't have to.
Oh no!
Like they could have saved Black Canary like for much later.
They totally didn't have to, and also, though I do love a lot of the side characters that have become more prominent within the series. I'm not sure if they exactly needed to create or recreate these characters. Like, though I love Felicity, she is one of my favorite characters on the show. Her character in the comic is that she is the stepmom
of
Firestorm. And I'm not sure if they exactly needed her for the role. It could have been a different character who was actually part of the universe.
Yeah.
In that way.
Yeah, they could have, like, incorporated another character. Like, now they're bringing in, like, Mr. Terrific. Mm-hmm. And, like, I feel like someone like that they could have pulled in. I do know, like, the reason they stuck with her was because, like, I remember seeing an interview with them, and they talked about how they realized, like, a few episodes in that they created a show that they didn't know how to write because they're better with, like, snappy dialogue. Mm-hmm. And so they finally found a character they could do that for, which is kind of their fault. But they found a character they could do that for, and the audience responded to positively because the entire show before that was just, like, grim, dark, blah, 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 all the time. And so they were just like, oh, you know, like, we'll just keep her around and give her something to do, which is fine. But, like, they could have just not made the show that way / incorporated someone else.
Yeah, it's just an example of how you could have done it better, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do we turn this into an Arrow rant?
No, I have no clue, but it's sad because snappy dialogue is Green Arrow, but they had to make him into Batman.
They made him the Grell GA, and I don't think that was the best idea. Yeah. I understand their thinking because they're just like, do we want to do camp or do we want to do realistic? And I can understand going for realistic, but
I kind of wish they went for camp.
Me too.
Because that is Green Arrow. He's very camp.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess they really liked the Grell version of him, which was grim dark.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, the version of him that, like, became really popular recently, like, that showed up in all, like, the Justice League cartoons and the Young Justice cartoons, and, like, all those are, like, camp Green Arrow.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's part of his charm, because we already have Batman.
Yeah, basically. Like, I love Batman. Everybody loves Batman.
Everyone loves Batman.
He's Batman.
Yes. Duh.
But that doesn't mean we need two Batman.
Especially since, like, he already started off as, like, basically Batman except an archer. And then they, like, oh my gosh, what was his name? O'Neill. The O'Neill
Mm-hmm.
run. He was just like, okay, we're going to make him totally different and give him his own thing. And that was great.
Yeah.
And I think it would have been better if they tried to make him more distinct.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, even though I'm really skeptical about the DCEU, as they're finally calling it, because they didn't have a name for it for a while, which made it really difficult to refer to, I really want them to just, like, have, like, a Green Arrow character show up later, kind of like that.
I hope so. I really do. What I want in my heart of hearts is just a Justice League International sitcom.
Justice League International, but they're all American.
Yes. 80s version. You have to go with the 80s version.
Their 80s costumes.
Oh my gosh, it's where Martian Manhunter got his cravings for Oreos.
Yes, and then they have Shazam, who's like still like that innocent, fun little kid inside of like an adult superhero's body, which I think is the way to go. Not angsty teenager inside adult's body.
They're making a Shazam movie.
I know.
And I really hope that it's not gritty.
I don't want it to be gritty.
Because, like, basically Shazam was... I think it started out... I could be completely wrong. But I believe it might have started out as a what if. And they just kept writing it.
Actually... I'm trying to think, because I did, like, randomly look up his entire history on Wikipedia once.
Yeah.
And I don't remember. All I know is that, like, he has had a really weird publication history.
Like...
And he was Captain Marvel initially.
Yeah.
And that was really confusing because he was never a Marvel property.
Technically, his name is Captain Marvelous, but he went by Captain Marvel, which made Marvel angry because that means DC made a Captain Marvel before they made a Captain Marvel.
And they're just like, no, that is literally our name. You cannot take this from us.
Yeah, and it was also during that time where it's like, we need to think up of all the superheroes so the other person can't use it.
Yep. Even though, like, they come up with ways to use them. See, Hawkeye and Mockingbird.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And then there's like, oh my gosh, there's a guy named Wonder Man.
Yes, I did know that existed.
Marvel.
And I was just like, oh no.
Like, bro.
Bro. You okay, bro?
You okay?
So bad. Kind of like how there's like, wasn't there a Captain, like, England?
Yeah.
And I know there's a Captain Canuck.
There's a Captain Canuck?
Yes.
What?
He exists.
I knew there was a Captain England.
There's a Captain Canuck.
Isn't Captain England like the head of like Justice League Britain or something?
Is he?
There's a for DC. There's a whole conglomerate of British people for superheroes.
They formed a union of British people.
I wish it was called the Union.
The Union.
The Justice Union of Jack.
The Justice Union Jack.
The Justice Union Jack. The judge.
The judge.
Oh my gosh!
It's Captain Britain. I'm sorry.
It. Oh,
excuse me.
I'm so offended.
I'm sorry to people in England / the rest of the UK.
Yes.
I apologize.
Yes. We apologize for not knowing the name of your head honcho superhero.
They discover that the Captain Britain Corps, it's an entire corps. What?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, this makes me happy.
There's just a whole spiel of British
Alan
people.
Moore wrote for this?
Yes.
Whoa.
Well, it's because it was basically the British version of the Justice League or something. And I think Alan Moore is British. I think he is. Look that up. I could be completely wrong.
Yeah, Captain Canuck. See?
Oh my
Look him up,
gosh.
guys. He exists.
There's a Captain Canuck. How?
He's a Canadian comic book superhero because why not?
How many Canadian superheroes are there? There's Captain Canuck and there's Wolverine.
Oh, Wolverine's Canadian? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's all Canadian and rugged, I guess, and short, and I'm guessing he's a lumberjack at some point in his life. I'm not quite sure why he probably is in the US because he forgot he's from Canada. So he's just kind of stuck here.
Just like, darn it, I'm here.
Well, I'm here anyways, and I have no memories of who I once was. So I suppose I'm American, eh?
In America.
In America.
The first Captain Canuck patrolled Canada in the then future year, because this was published in like 1975, of 1993, where, quote, Canada had become the most powerful country in the world, unquote.
Okay, sorry, Canada.
Sorry, Canada, we do love you.
You guys are nice. You're our top hat.
You guys are great. Our top hat?
Yeah, you never heard of it? America's top hat. Canada.
Sorry, Canada, we do love you.
You're nice. You're fancy. It's good.
My roommate loves you. If it makes it up to you, she would prefer to be in Canada.
I've never been, but I've heard that you guys are nice people overall, even if you may or may not be, I'm not quite sure, passive-aggressive.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people are like that.
That's true.
I do know that I went to Toronto, and the city was very clean, and I was very impressed, because American cities are not clean.
That's also true.
They're disgusting. But yeah. Oh, so Captain Canuck was the first successful Canadian comic book since the collapse of the nation's comic book industry following World War II.
What?
I'm sorry, Canada.
What? Oh boy, I'm so sorry, Canada. I wish you had more heroes.
Yeah, I'm sorry if we broke your comics, Canada.
Yeah, it's like how I feel bad about how basically Marvel Cinematic Universe broke Joss Whedon a little bit. That's
Joss is broken. Joss got jossed.
Joss got jossed by us in a way that we didn't want it to or expected to.
That's how you know it was real jossing.
Yeah, I know. But like, it's kind of like that type of feeling bad. Like, oh.
Poor Joss. Pat.
Pat.
Wait.
What?
Wait.
What?
There was a Captain Canuck TV series that featured Tatiana Maslany.
What?
She's
How
awesome.
old was she?
This was like in 2013.
What?
I'm looking this up.
What? Is it still going? Can we watch this?
I don't know if it's still going, but like we can see like how that went.
I may have to watch that.
Oh, it was 5 episodes.
It was 5 episodes.
Although it could be maybe. So it looks like it's like British format. Mm-hmm. So it could be that like it's still a thing and they're just spacing it out a lot, but I don't think that's what's happening.
Oh, because you have to just be. It's really hard to space it out that long because like you have to be freaking Sherlock to be able to.
Yeah, because they had like 3 episodes in 2013 and 2 in 2014, and then nothing.
Yeah.
Tatiana Maslany was a character named Redcoat.
Redcoat? Was she like a
British person?
No. Well, oh my gosh, she could have been. Do you think she was a villain?
That's what the name sounds like, but of course I'm also American, so it's like Redcoat's bad.
Is she? Either sounds like a villain or a sidekick.
I don't know which one. I want to watch this now.
Because I'm not sure if it's like Captain Canuck and his faithful sidekick. Redcoat.
Oh, it looks like it might have been animated.
That sounds adorable.
Yes, I kind of want to watch this now.
Yes.
That can be one of our future podcasts.
Yes.
We can talk about Captain Canuck.
Captain Canuck. Yeah.
So yeah. So we got way off track.
We did.
Would Captain Canuck be Hope?
Captain Canuck is DC.
It's a separate thing because he's Canadian.
Well,
it's like a Canadian comic book title.
Oh, is it independent?
I think so. I don't think it's like from either of the big two.
Whoa there, Canada.
Yeah, it's like something else. It's like Chapter House Comics or something.
Dang, it's independent. You don't usually see many of those around.
Nope. So he could be Hope. See, he's not DC.
He could be Hope
for Canada.
Canadian hope. Because, they just need so much hope up there.
Canadian hope.
Yes.
Hope that they won't be overshadowed by America, because I feel like that's what happens a lot, and I feel bad.
It's Hetalia Access Powers stuff. You've seen it, right?
Yeah, I've seen some of it, remember?
No, have you seen the episodes with Canada?
I don't think so.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're going to be talking about anime for a second here, but in Hetalia Access Powers, Canada is basically, he kind of looks like America, but he has glasses and he holds this teddy bear, and whenever he walks over to all these other countries, the countries mistake him for being America, or do not see him at all.
Oh, poor Canada.
People will, Russia sat on him at one point during one of the meetings because he didn't see him.
Canada!
And Canada's too quiet to speak up, and he's just like, Russia's on me.
Poor Canada.
And even, his teddy bear that he talks to just, doesn't care. And it's really sad.
Oh, poor Canada.
Oh, Canada.
Oh, wow. Oh, Canada. So we got off topic.
I think we ranted for 30 minutes.
We ranted about Arrow, and then it just kind of went downhill from there.
Oh, that's because
there are a lot of things to rant about with Arrow, though.
Yeah.
At least in my opinion.
Well, I don't know.
I'm too emotionally invested in it, Mexi. I love the character too much.
I feel ya. I'm glad that at least Flash is doing pretty well. I'm excited to see what they're going to do for next season.
I need to catch up. It's going on Netflix this week.
That means the Flash is probably starting up next week.
No, I think it they made the weird decision to release it on the day that it premieres.
Oh, I think they usually do that.
But it doesn't make sense, because wouldn't you want to give people at least a week to catch up and then be oh, let's watch the premiere now?
You'd think that, but
you would think.
But I feel like they do that with a lot of CW shows, so.
And then, of course, with Arrow, last year, they just didn't even bother. They're just no, we're releasing season 2, 2 weeks after it premieres. Have fun, guys.
Lols.
Yep.
Yep.
So, yeah, if anyone's listening, you have that to look forward to. Arrow, The Flash, and iZombie are all released on Netflix this coming week.
Yeah, iZombie is... It's kind of strange what they've done with it, but I like what they did.
It's so fun.
The only thing that I don't like is the name of Major
Lily White. His name is literally Captain White Boy.
Oh, Captain
that is his name.
I would like him more as a person if his name was not
Captain White Boy.
Captain White Boy.
I think it's hilarious.
And I can't believe, okay, so there's this character, the guy who plays it is the awesome dude who was King Arthur and Merlin.
That's him?
Yeah.
I did not make that connection.
No, I saw him and I was like, oh, shiznits, that's King Arthur. He's back. He's a zombie. And his name on the show was Lowell. And for a second... for maybe half the season while he was around, I was like, holy crap, somebody named their kid LOL.
and then Mexi realized that no, Lowell is a name.
Yeah, it's...
Lowell. I did not know that was King Arthur.
I know.
Oh my god.
I just thought that was pronounced Lowell or something.
I guess, yeah, close.
But Lol.
Lol.
I feel really bad for people named Lol. I'm sorry, people named Lol, because it just sounds like your parents named you LOL.
A misfortune of being born in the 21st century.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like if any of our fans were named Lol, they're just gonna be like, how dare they? And stop listening.
How dare you? Like Harry Potter.
Yes. How dare you?
Oh,
so... Okay, so we wandered really off topic, so it's probably best to
Yeah.
kind of like close here.
We'll close here. Thanks for listening if you've gotten to this point.
Yeah, if you've gotten this far, we kind of understand if you don't. We're going to try to be more organized with our topics next time.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we're still figuring this out.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to our random tangents.
Yep, thank you very much.
Yeah, and I guess we'll see you in a few weeks.
Yep, goodbye.
Bye.